Good evening, and welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club's Monday evening transmission of Amateur Radio Newsline. My name is Russ, and my call is KDA-VYT. But for this presentation of Newsline, I will be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Without further ado, this is Amateur Radio Newsline.
Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2462 with the release date of Friday, January 3rd, 2025, to follow in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The following is a QST. A solar probe touches the untouchable in space. The CQDX Marathon is back. And hear the winning entry in the 2024 Amateur Radio Newsline Haiku Challenge. All this and more as Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2462 comes your way right now. From around the world, this is Newsline, Amateur Radio's first independent on-the-air news and bulletin service. Now reporting from Charleston, West Virginia, here's Jim Dameron, NATMW. The Parker Solar Probe, launched by NASA in 2018, ended 2024 by nearly touching the untouchable, the sun. We hear more from Travis Lisk, N3ILS.
On Christmas Eve, December 24th, NASA's solar probe set a record by flying 3.86 million miles, or 6.1 million kilometers, from the sun. That approach made the small probe the first and fastest object created by humans to come that close to the sun, according to a report in Forbes magazine. Its speed was clocked at 430,000 miles per hour, the equivalent of 692,000 kilometers per hour. Nicola Fox, NASA's Associate Administrator for Science Missions, said in a Christmas Eve video that the probe had achieved the very mission it was intended for, with its unprecedented flight so close to the sun. This solar pass came as the probe made its 22nd approach since its launch more than 6 years ago. The probe is well shielded for this latest plunge into the sun. More than 4 years ago, it entered one of the most powerful coronal mass ejections ever recorded, according to NASA. This is Travis Lisk, N3ILS.
In the U.S., the Handyham program ended 2024 by reporting on gains and successes in its services and initiatives to disabled amateur radio operators. We hear about them from Kent Peterson, KC0DGY.
The Handyham program, which has served the disabled ham community since 1967, ended 2024 with a progress report to its supporters and on its website, outlining gains in its journey. The year included a number of new classes held virtually, including one in basic Morse code and another for technician class candidates. Handyham said that its radio club also achieved gains, reaching a milestone membership level of 158. The Handyham program itself welcomed 65 new participants. Program coordinator Lucinda Moody, AB8WF, summed up the year by calling it, quote, a year of achievement and expansion, end quote. For more details about the program, visit handyham.org. That's HANDIHAM.org. This is Kent Peterson, KC0DGY.
It isn't just January, it's Straight Key Month, and Randy Sly, W4XJ, is here to tell us about what that means.
Calling all CW operators. January is the month to put your paddle in the drawer and dust off your straight key. If you have cooties or bugs in your ham shack, you can use them too. It's time for the 19th annual Straight Key Month, hosted by the Straight Key Century Club. Throughout the month, you'll be able to work K3Y stations in all the U.S. call areas, including Hawaii, Alaska, and Puerto Rico. In addition, stations from regions within the IARU membership in Africa, Asia, Europe, North America, Oceania, and South America will also be on the air. Taking their cue from the ARRL's long-running Straight Key Night every January 1st, the SKCC extends the event from the 2nd to the 31st of the month. Whether you're a seasoned operator or just beginning your CW journey, you'll find Straight Key Month to be a great deal of fun while increasing your skills. Information for this event can be found at skccgroup.com/K3Y. This is Randy Sly, W4XJ.
An influential ham in the amateur radio community in Delaware has become a silent key. We hear more about him from Cell MB, KB3 TZD.
In 2005, Joseph Henry Stormer, W3TL, returned to amateur radio, the hobby he had loved as a teenager. He quickly deepened his involvement in both ham radio and the community. Joe joined the Sussex Amateur Radio Association in 2006 and became its president a year later. He also belonged to the Amateur Radio Lighthouse Society, the OM International Sideband Society, and served as an assistant emergency coordinator for the Amateur Radio Emergency Service of the ARRL. He was a team leader for the BB Hospital's Amateur Radio Operators Room. As a volunteer examiner, Joe was also a team leader of the Delaware Amateur Radio Testing Team and certified volunteer examiner with the Laurel Amateur Radio Club. He let hams and prospective hams throughout Delaware know they were always welcome to contact him to arrange for a licensing exam. According to his online obituary, he became ill last year. Joe died on December 22nd. He was 80. This is Cell MB, KB3, TZD.
The Jackson Butts County Public Library in Georgia is QRV. A collection of 11 amateur radio books donated a month ago by the Amateur Radio Club of Butts County has been entered into the library system and was placed on the shelves recently for circulation. This is the latest partnership in the U.S. of amateur radio clubs and their local libraries. Library manager Kathy Kelly told Newsline that the donation was made through the efforts of Buzz Kutcher, K3GWK, and Nancy Phillips, K4NEP, from the club. The volumes include technical books, licensing guides, and regulations from the Federal Communications Commission. Kathy told Newsline, "We are hoping they will be useful to many. They're ready to go." Lace up your running shoes and sit down in your shack and get ready for an on-the-air marathon that encourages operators to go the distance through December 2025. Jack Parker, W8ISH, shares the details.
The CQDX Marathon is back, and just as the marathon for 2024 comes to an end, the new one has begun. Avid DXers are already on the hunt through the end of December, hoping to work as many countries and CQ zones as possible. The idea, of course, is to see who can work the most countries or DX entities and CQ zones by the time 2359 rolls around on December 31st. Keep in mind that contacts through repeaters and satellites do not count, nor do contacts with aeronautical mobile or maritime stations. Only the use of amateur radio frequencies is permitted. Organizers made some changes in mid-December to rules that affect the awards, operating class, and youth participation. For a full description of the rules and who is affected, see the link in the text version of this week's newscast at arnewsline.org. This is Jack Parker, W8ISH.
Time for you to identify your station. We are the Amateur Radio Newsline, heard on bulletin stations around the world, including the Tryon Amateur Radio Club's K2JJI 2-meter repeater in Gloversville, New York, Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. Amateur radio station DL0DM recently finished celebrating 2 anniversaries in December. The club's 75th year as a radio licensee and its 35th year of operating from its home at the Deutsches Museum in Munich. Now the ham radio station is getting ready for another celebration, the centennial of the museum, one of the world's major showcases of science and technology. Jeremy Boot, G4NJH, gives us details.
The Amateur Radio Club at Munich's Deutsches Museum is putting the call sign DL100DM on the air throughout 2025. The museum is marking its 100th anniversary, a time particularly for amateurs to remember its long-standing connection to radio. Even before the Ham Radio Club had established a permanent presence there, the museum was proudly featuring a 100-watt shortwave transmitter built by a student in 1938, which CW operators would occasionally put on the air. The transmitter is still at the museum and on view in the electronics exhibition area. The club station, however, isn't simply a part of the museum's exhibits and its daily demonstrations. It's a major part of the centennial celebration. Listen out all this year for their special call. This is Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
The changing nature of challenges facing DXpeditioners is getting a closer look at the upcoming International DX Convention, as we hear from Ralph Squillace, KK6ITB.
Organizers of the International DX Convention are calling the opening day program on Friday, April 11th, a first-of-its-kind event. It's a full day of discussions devoted to solving problems that have emerged as some top DX entities grow more expensive, more restrictive, and more risky. Although new approaches such as remotely controlled stations have been employed for successful activations, DXers are seeking even more creative solutions. The one-day program will take place on the first day of the three-day convention at the Visalia Conference Center in Visalia, California, and will bring demonstrations and guest speakers into the spotlight. The topics will be of particular interest to DXers, DXpeditioners, and contest station designers, and any other hams hoping to sharpen their DXCC scores. Registration for the conference has already opened. The conference itself concludes on the 13th of April. This is Ralph Squillace, KK6ITB.
A year-long special event is underway to celebrate the railways that serve Britain. Jeremy Boot, G4NJH, gives us those details.
Train enthusiasts credit the modern railways with helping Britain's identity take shape over the decades. The British Railway Radio Society, G4LMR, has amplified that message on the air since it was formed in 1966 by a handful of railwaymen who are also amateur radio operators. Now its membership includes any amateurs with an interest in the railways. A busy and active society with a full event calendar, the group is hosting a year-long special event station, GB0LMR, to promote the message of celebration and mark 200 years of modern railway service. The station is on the air from January to the end of 2025. If you have an interest in trains or just in history, this is just the ticket. This is Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
In the world of DX, special event station CS2025HNY is on the air from Portugal through to the 7th of January. Be listening on various HF bands for operators from the National Association of Portuguese Radio Amateurs, QSL via CT1REP. Terry, GM3WUX, will be marking the bicentenary of the development of the Braille system for the blind and vision impaired by activating the special call sign GB200LB. Find Terry on the air from the 4th through to the 31st of January, mainly using CW. See QRZ.com for more details. The South African Radio League is marking its 100 years anniversary with a special event call sign ZS100SARL for its Marathon QSO party that began on the 1st of January and runs through to the 31st of December. See QRZ.com for details. Herald DF2WO will return to Rwanda as 9X2AW and be on the air from the 27th of January through to the 15th of February. Listen for him operating holiday style on 10 through 160 meters. He'll also be making contacts via the QO100 satellite. See QRZ.com for QSL details. Listen for Singapore Radio Amateurs call signs featuring the special prefix in celebration of the 60th anniversary of Singapore becoming an independent republic. Members of the Singapore Amateur Radio Transmitting Society are using the special prefix instead of the standard 9V1 prefix through the 9th of August, which is the actual anniversary date. The Czech D-Expedition Group will be using the call sign C8K from Mozambique from the 17th of January through to the 2nd of February. Find them on 160 through 6 meters and by way of QO100 satellite. They'll be using CW, SSB, FT8, and RIDI. See QRZ.com for QSL details. Newsline marked 2024 as its second year of the Ham Radio Haiku Challenge. We've been impressed with what our listeners have come up with. Kevin Trotman, N5PRE, is here to tell us about this year's winner, whose haiku was featured earlier this year on our website. He'll share it now to close out this week's newscast.
The haiku submitted by Ray Cheist, KB2ZOB of Cream Ridge, New Jersey, was featured on our website on the 18th of October. The haiku addresses the life-saving role ham radio often plays. Here's what he wrote. Muddy nighttime search. Head-lamped men with radios. Finally rescued. We congratulate Ray on this winning haiku and encourage our listeners anywhere in the world to submit their own creations at the website following the traditional haiku form. Visit arnewsline.org and look for the Ham Radio Haiku link at the right-hand end of the title bar. We look forward to another year of you exercising your poetic license as well as your ham radio license. This is Kevin Trotman, N5PRE.
With thanks to the Amateur Radio Daily, AMSAT News Service, British Railways Amateur Radio Society, Cape Gazette, CQDX Marathon, David Bayer, K7DB, Deutsches Museum, Forbes.com, 425DX News, DXConvention.com, Handyham, NASA, QRZ.com, RadioWorld.com, ShortWaveRadio.de, Wireless Institute of Australia, YouTube, and you, our listeners, that's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. We remind our listeners that Amateur Radio Newsline is an all-volunteer non-profit organization that incurs expenses for its continued operation. If you wish to support us, please visit our website at arnewsline.org and know that we appreciate you all. We also remind our listeners that if you like our newscast, please leave us a 5-star rating wherever you subscribe to us. For now, with Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team worldwide, I'm Jim Dameron, NATMW in Charleston, West Virginia, saying 73, and Happy New Year. As always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2025, all rights reserved.
This concludes our Monday evening transmission of Amateur Radio Newsline. Net to start in about 10 minutes.
W8VPV. Repeater. W8VPV. Repeater. PL110.9.
Good evening, calling all amateur radio operators. Welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Monday night VHF UHF net. My name is John, and my call was WO3X. However, for the purposes of this net, I'll be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. This is an open directed net. All amateur radio operators are invited and encouraged to check in. You do not have to be a club member. All traffic will go through net control, and since emergency traffic may break in at any time, please leave a brief pause between transmissions. The purpose of this net is to bring together all amateur radio operators for the exchanging of amateur-related ideas and information, to enhance net operating practices, and to keep members up to date about club happenings. This net meets here every Monday evening at 8:30 p.m. local time, preceded by amateur radio Newsline at 8:01. We will start with announcements and then ask for check-ins from any officer or member who has an announcement of general interest to the club. Once that is complete, I'll take check-ins, call signs only, 5 at a time, and confirming each call. Then I'll correspond with those 5 check-ins and ask for 5 more until the activity slows down. Then I'll go 1 at a time. If you're a regular participant, I'll probably recognize you by call sign. If not, please give your call repeated phonetically, followed by your name and your location. When all check-ins have been corresponded with, I will repeat the announcements and then give one last call for check-ins. We also operate a band exploration net at 9:30 p.m. after this net. Please join us if you have the privileges and equipment. The approximate frequencies are posted on our webpage, www.cfarc.org, and tonight we will be on 6 meters at approximately 50.270 megahertz upper sideband. Here are some of the announcements. Okay, this Wednesday, that's January 8th, starting at 7:30 p.m., is our meeting, and in person it will be at the Pilgrim United Church, which has an address of 130 Broad Boulevard, Cuyahoga Falls. But you get to our meeting by going to the parking lot, which is off of 2nd Street, just south of Broad Boulevard, and then the door is off that corner of the parking lot. And then look on our website, www.cfarc.org, for the Zoom link. If you can't attend in person, you can actively participate in it via Zoom. There will be a presentation by Frank, W8EZT, and it will be about VNA, and you can read about it a little bit in the newsletter, which just came out today. Starting on January 12th and ending on February 16th will be a general license preparation presentation. So if you or you know anybody that has a technician license and would like to upgrade, then this is a good opportunity. You can do it from home, of course, and so take a look at that. Again, that's on our website at www.cfarc.org. Click on the word education up the top, and it will open up a page that has this general license preparation Coming up on January 25th and 26th is Winter Field Day. We have a radio and an antenna at the clubhouse, and so Winter Field Day will be operated from there. If you have a technician license and would like to operate on HF bands, then send an email message to w8EZT@cfarc.org. That's Whiskey 8 Echo Zulu Tango at cfarc.org, or to Anthony at Kilo 8 Zulu Tango at cfarc.org, and let them know, either one of them or both, that you're interested in operating sometime during Winter Field Day, operating on HF bands. Also, besides those with a technician license, those with a general license or higher who would like to operate W8VPV at the clubhouse Winter Field Day, contact Frank or Anthony. Again, Frank is W8EZT at cfarc.org, and Anthony is at Kilo 8 Zulu Tango at cfarc.org, and let them know what time you would like to operate. We're proposing 2-hour intervals of operation per person, so let them know about your preference. Okay, and then in February, our meeting will be on February 12th, Wednesday, February 12th, and same location, Pilgrim United Church. Parking lot is on 2nd Street, just south of Broad Boulevard, and go in the door that is off the corner of the parking lot to go to the meeting. Both this Wednesday and Wednesday, February 12th, the meetings start at 7:30, both in person and on Zoom. Okay, that's all that I have in the way of announcements. Are there any officers or members who have an announcement of general interest to the club? This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Okay, not hearing any. Are there, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor, now taking check-ins. I'll take 5 at a time. Let me acknowledge each call 1 at a time.
Alpha Charlie 8 X-Ray Oscar.
Alpha Charlie 8 X-Ray Oscar, I have you, Vince. Another one, please.
Kilo Bravo 8 Victor Hotel Kilo.
Kilo Bravo 8 Victor Hotel Kilo, I have you. Another one, please. W8EZT. W8EZT, K8T, I have you, Frank. Another one, please.
K8PU.
K8PU, Larry, I have you. And one more.
I'll give you one more, WA8RCN.
Okay, Jim, I have you, WA8RCN. Okay, let's go up to Vince here, AC8XO. Go ahead, Vince, with your comments.
Well, if you don't know, the newsletter's out, and if you have any comments or corrections or complaints, send them to newsletter editor, and we'll look at them. Other than that, John, not a whole heck of a lot, except it's cold out here. AC8XO, back to net.
Yeah, very good, Vince. Thanks. So have a good evening and keep warm. Okay, the next one was KB8. VHK, I think that's a Victor. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. KB8 VHK, Victor Hotel Kilo to John. I was just looking at the website and I couldn't find the stuff on the general classes. It's still listed as technicians from last fall. Didn't know if you had any other information.
Let me take a look. Let's see. Maybe it's in the newsletter. Let me glance in the newsletter. Net standby.
All right, yeah, I'm kind of flipping through the newsletter now as we're on the air.
Okay, yeah, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Yeah, I don't see it on the website either, so we'll have to look more carefully in the newsletter. I'll take a look later. So thanks for, do you have any other comments there, John?
No, that's all I got. Just kind of trying to look at the upgrade here pretty soon. I've been a tech for 30 years. About time I'm getting ready to retire, and I want to start getting back into the radio again. That's it.
Okay, yeah, I read the newsletter, and I do recall Frank commenting about that. So maybe the link is in the newsletter, but I forget if the link was in there or not. So, okay, very good. Well, we'll try to get that taken care of, yeah, because that starts on Sunday. So if you want to sign up, we'll have to make sure that the link is there. Very good. 73 there, and have a good evening. Okay, next is Frank, W8EZT. Go ahead, Frank, with your comments.
Evening, John, everybody out there, and thanks very much for coming back to me. And thanks to the previous person. Somehow we missed that, and I'll mention it to Anthony right away and get an update up there. Hopefully, maybe before the end of the net. I'll give them a call as soon as they get off here. So my apologies there. The meeting does start, or the classes do start this coming Sunday. And let me think. I got a link for signing up. Let me look over here real quick. Stand by. Okay, I've got a big long link here on email, but I can't easily announce this out on the air. So we will get this before the end of the evening updated and corrected. So very much for catching that, and my apologies that it's not up there already. Other than that, don't have a lot to say. I think everybody saw the letter, or the email, and the newsletter. We found we had a nearby neighbor, and as soon as I got done, I got a call from one of our members. As soon as the newsletter published, I got a call from one of our members who said, "Hey, I'm real close too." And Ken Russ, Ken W8KL, Ken is only about 1,500 feet from our clubhouse, so we got more than one nearby ham. Anyway, don't have anything else. We'll catch you on the HFnet tonight, and we'll hand it back to you. And let me see if I can get some class information on the website. W8EZT, back to net.
Yeah, very good, Frank. Yeah, I was reading the newsletter there, and the SB401 high voltage wouldn't be anywhere near 3,000 volts because it's for two of a 6146. They kind of have them in parallel, and so it maybe 1,000 volts or maybe 900. But yeah, that's too bad that those capacitors, well, one of them at least, went bad. But so I don't know if they would have ever been able to get the dielectric up to a good capability because of the age of them, you know. So that's the story on that. Any other comments about that, Frank? This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor.
Now that you mention it, I do realize they were 6146s, you're right. I just remember seeing the 3 on the meter, and that seemed to be where the needle settled out, but obviously that calibration may be way off also. The switch itself had problems. So, all right, let me throw out one comment here. If you're interested in the class, you can send email to Anthony, K8ZT73@gmail.com, K8ZT73@gmail.com. But we will get a link up here on our webpage in the next hour or so. All right, John, that's all I got. Hand it back to you. You're doing a great job. Thanks for handling the very last net of the year last week and the very first net of the year this week. Back to net, W8EZT.
Yeah, okay, Frank. Yeah, that was fun last week, that band exploration net on 160 meters in AM. So that's always fun there. So thanks for checking into that too. Okay, so next on the list here is Larry, K8PU. Go ahead, Larry, with your comments. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor.
Good evening, John, everybody on the net. Hope everybody had a great holiday season there on Christmas and New Year's. We certainly did, and then right after that, we got what we got now. Oh well, that's what we expect in January around here. So, anyways, nothing exciting here. I thought, looking at my thermometer, thought it said 84. Now it's 24. Not sunny and warm on Oakwood. So, anyways, catch you over on 10 meters. Or 10 meters, 6 meters it is this week, John, and want to throw out a thanks to Vince for another year of doing the newsletter. He does a great job, and I hate to see it become a thankless job, so give him a little attaboy for that. I'll catch you over on 6 meters, 9:30. W8VPV, K8PU.
Okay, Larry, very good. Yeah, if you want 84 degrees and sunny, you'll have to turn on that big sun lamp there. So so good luck with that. Very good. Thanks for checking in, and I'll listen for you on 6 meters there. Okay, next is WA8RCN. Go ahead with your comments. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor.
Okay, W8VPV and the net WA8RCN say good evening and Happy New Year to everyone. And don't have much, just thought we'd check in and give you another call for the logbook there and another person to add to the list. Get your numbers up. So back over to you, John, WAVPV, W8RCN.
Yeah, thanks, Jim. Very good. Yeah, it looks like maybe it's going to be a low count this evening here. Thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Okay, that takes us to the bottom of the list. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John WO3X at the mic asking for check-ins.
Kilo Charlie 8 and November Oscar Victor, KC8 NOV, Martin Streetsboro, in and out.
KC8NOV, I have you in and out. Thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Another check-in, please.
This is Kilo Echo 8, Uniform Lima Charlie, KC8 ULT Kurt.
KE8ULC, I have you, Kurt, and there was somebody else in there along with Kurt. Go ahead.
That was me, John, I think, or somebody else too. N8ACP, November 8 Alpha, Charlie Papa, Chris Cadillac Hill. In and out, 7-3, John.
Okay, Chris, Cadillac Hill, thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Another check-in, please. Could you call again? I missed all of that.
Alpha Victor Delta, Tony, Merriman Valley.
Okay, I got KF8AVD, Tony, and was there somebody else in there?
Yeah, K8HMS, Ron.
K8HMS. Okay, Steve. Sounded like you were having a little trouble getting in there, but I have you on the list. We'll get back with you in a minute here. Another check-in, please.
Kilo Echo 8 Zulu Papa. In and out.
KEAZPX, I have you in and out. Thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Let's see, I guess we have enough here. Was there one more that wanted to check in? Go ahead. Okay, I guess not. Okay, so KC8NOV was in and out, so that takes us to Kurt. KE8ULC, go ahead with your comments.
Well, John, I just wanted to thank you and Frank and the whole club for the Nano VNA this next Wednesday. As long as it's IC, I'll be present. I hope there's a little bit of hands-on experimentation there as well. So thank you so much for providing that opportunity with the club this Wednesday. Back to you, John.
Oh yeah, very good. Oh yeah, that reminds me, Kurt. Yeah, we would like to, as a token of our appreciation for that organization letting us use their facility for our meeting. If you can remember, please try to bring one canned good food item, so we can put it in that in their pantry. So I'll add that to the announcements here. One canned good item. Okay, so thanks, Kurt, and I hope to see you at the meeting. Okay, N8ACP Chris in Cadillac Hill was in and out, so that takes us to Tony, KF8AVD. Go ahead, Tony, with your comments.
Evening, everyone, and 73, and Happy New Year. The only thing I really got going on is that I've managed to get my hotspot set up and configured for YSF and YSF to DMR, and been playing with that, and it's been pretty fun. Pretty cool. That's really all I got going on. 73 to everyone, and I'm clear.
Okay, Tony, well, that's quite an accomplishment there. Congratulations there. KF8AVD, Tony, 73, and have a good evening. Okay, next was Steve, K8HMS. Let's see how you're able to get in. I'll let you know.
Yeah, am I better here on the 2-meter side?
That sounds good right now. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I was on the 440 side before. So, okay. Well, hello, everybody. I hope everybody had good holidays. We did here, too. Just thankful to be vertical every morning. And that's about it. Not much going on. Haven't been doing too much operating or anything, but just trying to stay warm. So back to you, John, KHMS.
Okay, Steve. Winter Field Day is coming up there on the 25th and 26th. So if you'd like to operate, it will be at the clubhouse. And so you like to do CW, so maybe bring your own key or whatever, you know. So the newsletter has email addresses to send to if you're interested. The one's w8EZT@cfarc.org, and the other one is K8ZT@cfarc.org. If you'd like to operate Winter Field Day at the clubhouse there. Over.
Okay, sounds good. I'll check it out.
Okay, there's an article, Frank put an article in a newsletter about the clubhouse and what we have in the way of a radio and an antenna. So take a look at that, and those email addresses are in there. Okay, let's see. So KEAZPX Jesse was in and out, so that takes us to the bottom of the list. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John WO3X at the mic asking for check-ins.
K8WTK. In and out, John. See you on 6.
K8WTK. Okay, Bill, I have you in and out, and I'll be listening for you on 6. Another check-in, please. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John WO3X at the mic asking for check-ins. Okay, not hearing any at this time. I'll repeat the announcements. Okay, this Wednesday, that's January 8th, we will have our in-person and Zoom meeting. In person, it will be at the Pilgrim United Church has an address of 130 Broad Boulevard, but you get to the meeting by going to the parking lot, which is on 2nd Street just south of Broad Boulevard, and then go in the door that is off the corner of the parking lot. And on Zoom, the link is on our website, www.cfarc.org, and you can actively participate using Zoom. Okay, and for that meeting, if you're going to attend in person, as a token of appreciation for their letting us use their facility for our meeting, please try to remember to bring one canned good item, food item. Okay, let's see. So there is a general license preparation class that will be online. It starts January 12th, and the last lesson is February 16th. At this time, look in the newsletter, and the link may be in the newsletter, but we will be getting a link for that on our website at www.cfarc.org. So watch for that to appear if you're interested in upgrading from technician to general. And Winter Field Day, as I was just mentioning to Steve there, is January 25th and 26th. The Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club will be operating W8VPV at the clubhouse. The clubhouse has a furnace and a restroom and all that. Not all the comforts of home, but comfortable enough to operate for a couple of hours at a time there. So if you're interested in that, working for a time there, a field day, winter field day, send a message to W8EZT@CFARC.org or Kilo 8 Zulu Tango @CFARC.org. Let them know like what time you would want to operate and so forth. And even if you don't have a general license, only a technician license, you can operate on the HF bands because there'll be a control operator there. That's a lot of fun for a technician licensee because the technician license doesn't permit HF operation except 10 meters. Okay, again, that's a winter field day. And let's see, that's all that I have in the way of announcements at this time. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor, last call for check-ins.
KF8 AVD recheck.
Go ahead, Tony.
What is the approximate location of the expeditionary net tonight?
It will be on 6 meters, real close to 50.270 megahertz, upper sideband.
Roger, roger. Thank you for the info.
Okay, very good. Yeah, maybe I'll hear you there. So I'll be the net control station for that also. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor, last call for check-ins. Okay, not hearing any. In preparing to close this net, I would like to thank all of you who took the time to join us and check in tonight. Without your participation, there would be no net. This has been John, and my call is WO3X, and it's been my pleasure to host this evening's net. At this time, I will close the net with 13 check-ins counting myself and return the repeater to normal customary amateur radio use. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor closing the net at 9:06 p.m. local time. 7-3.
W8VPV. Repeater. Port link off.